Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Love is Blind Season 9, and it's the reunion this time around.
Or at least it's trying to be.
Yeah. As many of you guys said on the internet, this reunion could have been an email.
Yeah, it was overall just, at one point I remember asking her, like, how much longer is it? Because it was just drawn out and just boring. But we still got some nice details from it, so let's get into it.
Overall, all of the couples, I think they look really nice. I call them couples, they're all singles. All of the singles look really nice. They definitely came dressed to impress. I think out of all of the people who showed up, Anton maybe could have dressed a little bit better. He looked pretty casual. And then Edmund had that pick in his hair.
The famous pick. Well, he grew a beard now. He got a little more facial hair now. I felt like his fit was kind of like chill, like business casual too.
Maybe just because throughout the season we saw him dressed like that the entire time.
You just used to it?
Yeah.
I got you.
Now, I'm really shocked that they started where they started in the reunion with Megan and Jordan, only because of the news that Megan shared, but we'll get into that. So they start off with Megan rehashing the breakup, as well as Jordan talking about a little bit of their lifestyle differences and do they regret their times in the pod.
Yeah, it seemed like, Megan, fell in love with the potential to be with Jordan more than anything. And she even said herself, at the end of the day, you can't marry potential, you marry the person for who they are. And who he was just did not fit her lifestyle at all. She's too flexible, she's too open to trying things, and Jordan just couldn't do that with her.
She even mentioned that she wished that she had more time to give Jordan that chance to get to the same level as her. However, just given the premise of the show, there wasn't time for that. The wedding was later on that day when she broke things off with Jordan.
Yeah. If you remember in the 12th episode, the same episode where they broke up, Jordan had mentioned that he regretted introducing Luca to Megan, and he kind of cleaned that up on the reunion, saying that it wasn't a direct attack to Megan, but more so that he wants to keep Luca as stable as possible, and being that she went in and out of his life so quick, that's what he meant by the comment. Also, I don't remember it being played on the show. Maybe it could have, but I think there was a comment along the lines of whether or not Megan would make a good mom, and maybe she was questioning motherhood if it was for her. And this is when we get into the segue of her sharing the news that she actually has a 2-month-old baby boy. Yep. I think his name was Brooks, and they shared a few pictures of him.
They introduced her new partner, Paul.
Yeah, who was in the crowd there as well.
And they did discuss the timeline of everything because it was a quick turnaround time from filming, breaking things off with Jordan, and then baby Brooks.
Yeah, because I think she said they started, so filming ended in April, I think they said.
I believe so.
She met Paul and they started dating in July. And then Brooks she got pregnant with Brooks 3 months after that. It was also brought up during the reunion that Mike and Jordan had hung out, and Mike had confessed to Jordan that him and Megan went out on a date. Obviously nothing came of that date. She said that she just wasn't feeling that spark like she was feeling in the pods with Mike.
And then she also mentioned that she met up with Blake, another one of her connections in the pod, and Blake essentially apologized for ghosting her. So they do wrap up Jordan and Megan segment with Megan obviously in a relationship with Paul. Jordan said he's casually dating, but nothing too serious. And then Jordan takes a moment to clarify the different types of diabetes between type 1 and type 2.
After that, Casey, Kate, and Patrick come to the stage to clear up some stuff that they have to get off their chest.
This next portion of the reunion is a little bit difficult to get into because I feel like they were starting to get off track with a lot of the important parts of what a reunion is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the show. This is where it starts to get a little off track. So we do start off with Patrick telling his side of the story, where seeing all the things that happened with Casey and Casey telling production she's just not attracted to him and she'll never get there, and how she wasn't that direct with him, So he was definitely hurt by that scenario, but it was a little bit odd seeing Casey flip the script and essentially play victim. She said it was just as painful for her. She went through a lot with it and almost kind of tried to make Patrick out to be the bad guy, and Patrick wasn't the bad guy in this scenario.
And this is going to be a reoccurring theme, by the way, with her. Yeah, she basically said that she was trying to protect his feelings by not outright saying how she felt. And it seemed like Patrick didn't even get somewhat of some type of clarity until he watched the show back and saw what she actually said to production. Before that, he tried to have a conversation with her. She was basically like, my emotions are too high right now. I don't want to have this conversation. I might say something you don't want to hear. And he basically was just like, all right, let's forget it and just be friends.
Patrick, during that time period, also asked for the ring back from Casey, and Casey didn't want to give it back. So this turned into like I think they spent like 10 minutes on this ring situation and going back and forth on getting the ring back. And this is when the reunion really starts to get gimmicky, in all honesty. So we already opened the reunion with a live band. They didn't always used to do that. I think that started maybe last season where they started bringing in musical guests. They did it again this season, and then they brought in a basketball player.
Chris Paul.
I don't know who that is. Don't know if he's retired or still active, but they brought him on. They had a whole basketball segment for free throws, and whoever won got to keep the ring. So we went all through this back and forth for like 10 minutes on who gets the ring. Casey gives the ring to Patrick. Then they bring in the basketball player. Casey wins the basketball free throw, and she wins the ring back. They wasted our time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a bad way to go about things. Because why even, like she said, why even waste our time making us watch that back and forth if at the end of the day she got the ring back?
It was a painful 10 to 15 minutes of Patrick saying, I want this ring back that Netflix provided. And what else did he say?
He just asked for an apology.
Oh yeah, the apology
from her, which she didn't even immediately give an apology. She kind of, you could tell she was contemplating it, like she didn't really want to. And personally, it was just like all right, here, apology. You know, like she didn't really mean it. She was just like saying sorry for the sake of saying sorry. Nonetheless, he accepts the apology though. He said this is your chance to clear your name, pretty much, because I guess she's been getting attacked online. And he was just like, here's your chance to clear your name. I don't think it's gonna do anything for the damage that she did anyway, especially with the way she gave that apology.
After the different interactions with all of the singles and participants, they always ask them, are you dating or are you single? And they asked Casey, was she dating anyone or did she date anyone from season 9? It turns out she dated for a few weeks Joe.
After it's revealed that Casey and Joe dated after the show, Madison obviously makes like a little stank face at that, and she brings up how she thinks that Casey had an influence on their engagement, on Madison and Joe's engagement. Pretty much that Joe clearly had a connection with Casey, and I guess at one of the mixers, I think, was it the line dancing mixer that she mentioned it? At one of the mixers, Casey was flirting with Joe, and I guess at one point had her palms.
I also want to bring up, it wasn't on the show. So this is when we first get to see something that happened off of the show.
Camera?
Yeah, it wasn't at the mixer because I don't think Casey ever came back on camera after breaking things off with Patrick. So they went to like a party. I believe they went to several parties.
Yeah.
Where a bunch of drama off screen happened that they kept rehashing.
Yeah, so I guess at one of these parties, Joe was getting real close with Casey and vice versa. And he actually pointed it out to Madison that I think he said Casey was giving him like googly eyes or something like that. And of course, Madison didn't find that funny. And I think when she was thinking back, she realized that their connection might have had an influence on the engagement.
She even shares that that interaction happened the day before that Joe broke things off with her.
At one point on the show, I guess this was also off camera, while Madison and Joe were still engaged, this was the night of the tux fitting and the wedding dress fittings. They went to dinner with Joe's friends, and I guess Madison was, gassing Joe up, saying how much she loved him. Meanwhile, Joe already had his mind made up. So she asked Joe, why did you let me, basically do that in front of your friends, knowing you already had made your mind up? And he just says, because I wanted to have a good time and I wasn't ready to talk about it.
And this back and forth of a bunch of things that happened off screen took place, honestly, for a majority of the reunion.
Yeah.
All of this took place of approximately maybe 30 minutes of the entire reunion. The entire reunion was about an hour and 14 minutes. So if this was 30 minutes of that, they went into detail. I'm not quite sure why they shared so much about things that didn't happen on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reunion, not a recap of their lives post the show.
Yeah, I almost feel like they spent almost the most time on Joe and Madison. I mean, I was thinking it was going to be Edmund and KB that they were going to be spending the most time on, but they got 15 minutes, I think, if that. But it ends with Madison bringing up that after the show, her and Joe went on a quick night out to get drinks, but it ended with them, I guess, making out in the car. And then he cried afterward, and she asked basically, why are you crying? And at the time he couldn't answer. On the show, he said that the feelings were still fresh for her. He still had feelings for her. But as far as why Joe did what he did when it came to Madison, she still never got that clarity, and she has just accepted that she never will.
They transition into Nick, Annie, and Kate. Nick kind of goes on this apology tour. He's taking accountability. Kate calls it out as performative. She's not buying it whatsoever. All of his apologies, she's calling this out left and right. I feel like it was sincere.
I feel like it could go either way, because in a sense it does kind of sound rehearsed, but at the same time, I don't think all of it was rehearsed. I think some of it was definitely genuine, but I think it's just the way he is. It just sounds rehearsed.
And a lot of what she brought up was in the pod, she felt like all of it was rehearsed because Nick was saying the same thing to each and every single woman that he was with in the pods. So although that Nick took accountability, Annie also kind of stood up for him.
Yeah.
It was kind of strange to see that she was all for Nick and their experience, and she doesn't really have any regrets for what they went through.
Yeah, she even defended him saying, dealing with multiple people and, doing what he did in the pods, which was very surprising, honestly.
I'm not sure if, because Annie kind of stood up for Nick, if she didn't get much screen time, but they gave Kate way more screen time than Annie when Kate was only in the pods. Annie is the one who went through the entire experiment with Nick, so I'm not sure why she had less screen time compared to Kate.
Yeah. I think Nick and Annie, and I guess Kate, had the shortest amount in the show, but definitely the majority of that was Kate speaking. At one point after the show, Kate mentions that she and Brendan went on a date, or were dating, and they went to a party. And of course, at that party, who do you think he ends up being with? Casey. The root of all these problems. And I just feel it just shows her character, because after that she tried to deny it, of course. But I think even other people saw this happen. So I don't know. I don't know what her problem is. I don't get her at all.
So Patrick wasn't enough. She went for Joe and then went for Brendan.
And she said that Patrick was there because she was trying to defend herself against that. And Patrick was like, I literally was not there. I literally was not there. I don't know what happened at that party.
Moving on to Anton and Allie, we get to see them rehash their relationship and all the things that they went through. And one point that they bring up as a line of questioning for them is the whole strip club situation. They talk about how come it was never brought up. Did you guys ever hash that situation out? If it was such a big deal for you in your lifestyle and what you wanted a partner, this is a question towards Allie, how come you didn't bring it up with Anton? And Anton does confirm, and even Allie confirms, they never talked about this.
Which is weird. It's so weird. And we had said that, but we were like, oh, maybe they talked about it off camera. And they just didn't show it. But yeah, she never brought it up, even though that was like her biggest problem with Anton. And she just never brought it up.
I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe they just didn't show it, but they confirmed they never talked about it.
Yeah.
She didn't really give Anton a fair chance, in my opinion. She never gave him the opportunity to express his lifestyle choices and etc. He even said that he doesn't go to the strip club like that, and he was a little hurt that his friend's girlfriend that he only met, I believe, twice prior to the Netflix filming would even say something like that to his soon-to-be wife.
Yeah, and that it had that much of an influence on her, because that affected it was downhill from there, really. Even though they showed good moments between them, it was really downhill from there. She brings up that she felt outside of the pods in real life that she could not talk to Anton like she could in the pods, which I don't think she really went into detail on that either, did she?
She did. She explained that due to their
the night
shifts
yeah.
that they couldn't really talk. Anton said we did talk, and that wasn't true. So they definitely had different stories. But I mean, even if you both work night shift, it's just a time shift difference. I could understand if one person worked day shift and another person worked night shift. Yeah, it would be hard to talk to each other. But if you're on the same work schedule, I'm not understanding the lack of communication here.
Yeah, because he had brought up how some days he just comes home tired, and it's just like, hey babe, and he eats. He might watch TV a little bit, drink his 2 beers, and go to bed. And sometimes it's just like that, right?
You don't do that.
No, I don't do that. But there are some days I come home and I'm just like in my own world. So the hosts bring up the conversation between Allie and her friends about the financial situation with Anton, and they asked if that did have an influence. She says no. I feel like it did. But even though at the same time, she also said that he makes good money doing what he does. And Anton did say that he was kind of hurt that, that took place and that they did think that way of him.
I think it's interesting to say, I almost wonder a little bit of Allie's motives on coming onto the show. I didn't feel that way until the reunion. How can you say that you want to get married, Love is Blind, and all of the issues that you had with this person that you're, having potentials to marry, and you don't even discuss like the major issues that you have with them. You don't give them a chance to explain. You don't give them a chance to correct it, to see if that's something you guys can work past. I don't feel like she took the experiment fair.
That's like the root of being with somebody. Like, you have to talk about those things. 'Cause at the end of the day, I feel like talking about something serious like that could put you to wanting to leave, or it could just be mended. But she never really gave that a chance. I kind of agree with you too. I think I do kind of question her motives of coming on there, because I feel like she didn't even try really with Anton. I feel like Anton was trying, but if you're not going to talk about the main thing that's bothering you, like, what are you doing?
In true Love is Blind fashion, they ask Anton, has he been dating? He says he has been seeing his partner for about a year. They ask Allie the same question, and her response is, I want to keep my dating life.
I want to keep my dating life private.
Private. So I don't know what that means. I don't know why she didn't want to share. I mean, it's her business. If she doesn't want to share, that's fine. But
yeah, she ain't dating nobody, man.
And we conclude with KB and Edmund. This is how this reunion ends. And I'm a little disappointed in the way that this went. They asked KB to elaborate on what she meant by Edmund was different on camera versus off camera. She pulls a paper out her bra, ready to go. She says she has bad memory, but she started going like 15 miles per hour talking. She was
rambling. She was rambling.
We tried to capture everything as best as we could, so bear with us. I might read a little bit on this one, my notes, because it's a lot.
Yeah, she was. I mean, we had to pause just to digest a couple of times what she was saying.
She said that when they got in the real world, he was crying a lot, crying at all the wrong moments. He would never take accountability and very dismissive off camera. She said she felt like it was a manipulation tactic with all of the crying. She did elaborate on the manipulation piece of things in terms of if she's trying to express why she's upset about something, instead of taking accountability for hurting her feelings or being dismissive, he would cry about it.
She says that after they had a talk about that, I guess they had to talk about that off camera at one point, he stopped crying and basically just, that's when he became very dismissive and just being a butthole toward her.
Her words. Also her words. He cried every day for the first 10 days.
Yeah. And mind you, right? He was like, I didn't repeat any type of behavior you're mentioning. And I mean, if you cried for the first 10 days, that's pretty repetitive. And she said that he was doing it multiple times a day on top of that.
One thing I didn't like, the host, Nick, Vanessa's husband, asked KB, and I want to make sure I don't get this wrong. Were you not used to Edmund's emotions, or did you actually feel like he was manipulating you? And that comment right there is so dismissive. If she just sat here and listed off all the reasons as to why she felt like she was manipulated by Edmund, why are you asking her? Are you sure about that? Now you're being dismissive.
Now her answer was pretty much
two things can be true.
Two things can be true, where she was just like, sure, maybe I'm not. But, and she brought up again, it was the timing of when he was crying and that he wouldn't take accountability. So yeah, is he a more emotional person? Sure. But it's also just the timing of it all for her. A lot of times during the show on camera, KB just seemed upset. And it's because prior to, filming starting, they would often get into it about, well, really it was because Edmund was being dismissive or not taking what she was saying serious. So she didn't want to be depicted as an angry black woman, as she said, and she actually pulled him aside one day and said, you need to stop making me mad before getting on camera, because I am going to be depicted a certain type of way.
And I definitely can empathize with KB in terms of in her environment that it seemed to be that she was feeling very dismissed in her feelings. From Edmund to the host, because as a black woman, she just listed off X, Y, and Z of why I felt like I was being manipulated. And here comes Nick going, you sure about that? Edmund takes a playbook out of Casey's book and cries victim. He says none of this stuff happened. He doesn't know what KB is talking about, honestly just gaslighting her the entire time. Trying to make her seem crazy and like an angry black woman yet again. And I'm really glad that Vanessa kind of called this out a little bit and said that you came from a troubled past, and sometimes with the troubled past you tend to block things out as a trauma response, and maybe you blocked out the bad parts of the times in the experiment that you had. The times in the experiment that you had.
He tries to defend himself to the point where he brings up that she was PMSing during the show. And that's why she was so angry and not saying nice things then, which I just feel like is so ridiculous to even bring that up. I feel like it's inappropriate to bring that up, because that's nobody's business that she was, PMSing during the show.
Dismissive yet again. They wrap up the KB and Edmund segment with KB essentially apologizing to Edmund for the way that she spoke to him. She said that she spoke to him in a non-loving manner, and sure, perhaps she didn't speak to him the greatest during that whole entire time, but that doesn't excuse his behavior either, and he never apologized, not once. So I didn't like that whole dynamic, because there was a lot that he should have apologized for, and I'm kind of upset that Netflix didn't press that issue. So we can get a whole entire segment on Jordan clearing up type 1 from type 2 diabetes, but we're not going to address the sexual coercion from Ed.
Yeah, I feel like that should have definitely been brought up, because his behavior in that scene was absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. And as we mentioned before, it just felt like KB was in an unsafe environment if he's acting like that fast. What would you rate this reunion 1 to 10?
Honestly, I would give it a 3 out of 10. I give it a 3 out of 10 because, one, I feel like they didn't focus on the right things. I feel like we spent way too much time on things that had nothing to do with stuff that we saw on camera.
Yeah, I'd say I'd give it like a 3 or 4 because of the same reason. It's just most of the stuff they talked about wasn't on camera. I feel like they focused on Joe and Madison too long. And I like I said, I just got bored watching it. I just felt like it was running too long. There was nothing interesting really coming from it. And I feel like a lot of the important things weren't even talked about that happened on camera.
They conclude the reunion with handing out boiled chicken breast smoothies that Jordan likes to drink because it was his birthday. All of the participants got a chance to taste it. I probably would not have.
I would have.
No. So by the time you guys see this, it should be Halloween. So happy Halloween. My shirt says, "This is my costume." Stay tuned for the next video. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be, but stay tuned.
We will see you in the next one.
And hopefully our sweet little girl was not too loud in the background. She was whining.
Yeah, she was making
probably
noise.
because she wants to come say hi. Come say hi, sweet girl. There you go.
Can't see you really, but she's in the holiday spirit. She has her little bandana on.
You say hi? Say subscribe.